Hey guys, Martinez here. Last week y'all voted for the Levi's how-to on Vital. Nose manuals were chosen, so I'm going to try my best to show you how to do them. All right, so basically, I mean, for me, the easiest way to figure it out and try and learn the balance point was find an empty parking lot somewhere. And I think if you choose the spaces, between each parking spot, then that's a good goal, going from one line to another. By doing that, you're going to learn your balance point pretty much. That's honestly the easiest way to try and figure out, your balance point. Just find an empty parking lot somewhere and then try and go from space to space in the parking spaces. Once you learn that balance point and you figure out a little bit of that control, you can kind of go from a parking lot, empty spaces, to an island, like a manual pattern somewhere in a parking lot or even in a skate park. Your local skate park might have a grind box somewhere and you can practice on that. All right, so I'm gonna have Morgan and Dakota session this manual pad with me, and as you can see, we all have different styles and different bike setups and even probably just different ways of jumping over the bars. There really is no wrong or right way of doing this trick. It's just kind of like finding that balance point. And if you make it across it, you make it across it, All right, for instance, Dakota and Morgan and I, we all run our, handlebars at a different setup, different length frames, and probably different head tube angles. But, we all somewhat managed to figure out the balance point, with that setup and are able to find that, control, that we're looking for with that setup. So it's not really a matter of finding, all right, well, I think I need a steeper head tube angle to learn how to do it. Sure, it might be easier, but what I'm trying to say is that whatever setup you're running with is going to be okay. You're going to learn that balance point. Now getting into the actual nose manual position. Myself, I like to go about the same speed as I would on a manual. You don't want to go too fast and you don't want to go too slow, because if you go too slow, you're not going to make the distance. To me, if going real fast, you don't really find that control. It's a lot harder to get into that position of finding, the control of it. Basically, once you've figured out how to jump into the nose manual position, one thing you don't want to do is be afraid of jumping over the bars. For me, whenever I get into the position of it and I feel like I'm going to flip over, I basically just do the spread eagle splits and then chunk the bars in between the legs. If you try and hang on, it could end up bad. Or once you've gotten actually into the nose manual, you use your legs and your arms together sometimes. You straighten your arms out, but maybe bend your knees, and then that'll bring your back end up, or vice versa. You can straighten your legs out and bend your arms, and then that'll kind of counteract it, So if you can do this all while in the nose manual, that's basically learning how to control the nose manual. So once you kind of learn that, you're going to be able to go further and further. And sometimes you actually do just lock into it. You don't have to pump anything, you just lock into it, and that's one of the good days. If you think you got the trick on lockdown, sometimes it's not that way, because some days are worse than others. So just have patience with it and keep trying. All right, thanks for voting. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope that it works out for you. Don't get too frustrated, because again, it's supposed to be fun riding your bikes. So go out there and have fun and try and learn those manuals.